half of Kiwi drivers aren't properly stopping at railway level crossings with stop or give way signs. New research commissioned by Kiwi Rail looked at the behaviour of over 3,600 motorists and found that 47% failed to stop as required. It's a worrying stat, considering previous data showed more than half of all serious crossing deaths in the past decade happened at crossings with these basic signs. The research also found that adding simple signs like "look for trains" made a big difference. Over 93% of drivers stopped when these were in place. Motorists were also more likely to ignore give way signs than stop signs, leading researchers to recommend replacing give way signs altogether to encourage safer driving. TrackSAFE's Megan Drayton says most collisions happen even at crossings with lights, bells or barrier arms. And she joins me now. Megan, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Leah.
Lovely to talk to you again. Now, it sounds nice and quiet, but I do know you're at field days.
I am at field days, but I've put myself inside a high rail vehicle, so it's a little bit quieter in here.
Good idea. Hey, how's it look? Very quickly, I know that this is a serious convo which we're going to have, but how is it at field days? I already have had a few conversations with people. They're saying it's going really well.
Yeah, that's going really well. We're having lots of conversations with people about rail safety. We've got a quiz that people can answer around safety questions and go in the draw to win a trip on one of the Great Journeys trains. And I mean, the greatest thing is that most people do know this, they know how to be safe. They know what the rules are. So it's just a matter of putting all that knowledge into practice, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So let's look at the study. Megan, nearly half of drivers did not stop at level crossing stop signs. What do you think is behind this risky behaviour?
Oh, look, I mean, it is hard to say, but I think, one of the reasons could be sort of around complacency, and it's possible that people, drive over a crossing, 5 or 6 times a week and never see a train, and then, you just get into that sort of autopilot and just end up driving over and not stopping and not looking. But it's, there's just always the chance that it'll be that time that there will be a train. So we're really urging people to stop. If it says stop, there's a reason for that.
Yes. It looks like motorists basically ignore give way signs, and the researchers believe they should be replaced with stop signs. Do you agree?
Well, look, I'm not a road engineer, so I'm probably not going to give you what you need from that question. But I will say that, in the past we have swapped out give way signs for stop signs, and it's not always a popular move. And one of the reasons I recall is that for heavy vehicles, it can be actually safer for them to give way and look and just keep rolling over rather than actually having to stop the vehicle and then start again. So that's quite a complex area, and my sort of gut feeling is that we would probably need to do a bit more research into that area, and we would also, there'd have to be a lot of conversations with NZTA and councils and other organisations. But it's an interesting finding for sure.
Yeah, it is actually. I mean, well, that actually leads nicely to my next question, and probably answered, because interestingly, truck and trailer drivers were nearly twice as likely to stop. So it was about 66.7% compared to car drivers at 35%. And just as you said, I'm guessing because it takes them so long to stop, they would stop, but they've got to make a real concerted effort to do it.
Yeah, and I was really pleased with that finding from the research, because we have done quite a lot of education awareness work with the heavy vehicle industry over the last 10, 15 years, and we continue to do so. I mean, it's still 70%. Ideally, it would be 100%, but I think it just shows you that the heavy vehicle drivers understand the risk, and obviously a collision with a heavy vehicle and a fully loaded freight train is never going to end well. This is what we describe as potentially catastrophic collisions. So it's great that so many of them are actually obeying the rules.
Back to signs though, Megan, the look for trains signs seem to make a big difference. That was good to see. Maybe more of them around the country?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, I know that Kiwi Rail will be looking at this research, and I'm sure that there will be discussions going on with their engineering teams and their infrastructure teams around what can be, what can be implemented if this is a genuine thing that is going to improve safety. And yeah, I mean, certainly it's on the face of it to a layperson, it seems like it wouldn't be a high cost to maybe put some more look for train signs around the network.
The good news, though, I saw incidents actually at level crossings have dropped. Have they not?
Yes, that's right. And actually, last year was the lowest number of level crossing vehicle collisions on record. So, I mean, that's, there's still collisions, and we have to be mindful that, they've still affected a lot of people, a lot of families have been impacted by them. But certainly, 8 collisions last year. That was down from 17 the year before.
Wow.
Might be a bit of a blip, but there's still a downward trend over the years. So, I think we can celebrate that's a good trend.
Yes. Have you seen any clever kind of tech or innovations, Megan, that can help improve safety, at crossings in the near future?